In this video, I'm going to show you how to take advantage of a feature in Google Forms that you might not be aware of or understand how it works. And this feature is using multiple choice questions to direct the flow of the Google form. That is, asking multiple choice questions and having the user go to certain sections of the form based on the way that they respond. So here I've set up a little example. This is called question 1, and in the description it asks, in the story, the main character finds out that his wife's office Christmas party has been taken over by a group of high-class terrorists. What do you think the main character ought to do? And the 4 choices are, get out while he still can, hide until everything blows over, try to get his wife out of the party, or try to rescue everyone and neutralize the threat. So each of these 4 choices, students can pick whichever one they think the main character ought to do. And what I can do with this is, if I click on this little snowman menu at the bottom of the question, one of the options is to go to a section based on answer. So I'm going to enable that, and now it brings a new part to this question where I can tell it what section to go to based on how the student responds. And they may not know what's going to happen. So each student, they answer it a different way, and they go to a different part of the form, and you can set up some really interesting form flow to guide your students' learning by using this feature. So get out while he still can, we're going to send them to the section called Get Out. Hide until everything blows over, we're going to send them to the section Hide. Continue to next section, we're going to send them to Grab the Wife. And then lastly, Be the Hero. And one of the options, if it's the last question, is you can have them just submit the form based on how they answer. And the interesting thing about this is that can be set to only submit the form if they select certain answers. So their experience can be done based on how they respond to a question. But other users may respond differently, and their experience with the form may continue. All right, so in order to use this feature, you have to define these sections. So on the right, this little icon right here, if you hover over it, says Add Section. Whatever sections you want, make sure that you define those. I didn't add a description, I just made sure that the sections were there and titled so that I could select them more easily. You can even direct the form flow after each section, continue to next section. Well, the next section wouldn't make a lot of sense here, so maybe after I do this, they're just going to submit the form. After this, submit the form. Submit the form. This is the last section, so I believe if there's no more sections after this, the default behavior is to submit the form. And so you can use this to set up classroom activities that are sort of choose your own adventure, anticipating what may or may not happen next in a story. You can even use this to ask certain questions for like preparation for a quiz or a test, and then based on the answer that the student gives, send them to a page that offers them remediation or help for what they may have gotten wrong if they chose the wrong answer. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, a lot of creativity that you can use to help use these forms for in-class purposes and instructional purposes. That's just a really neat feature that may or may not be getting the attention that it deserves.